Welcome to TLH Patterns. In today's video, let's see how to crochet a pullover for kids. There are 4 sizes ranging from 2 to 12 years. A return pattern is available in my blog thelazyhobbyhopper.blogspot.com. You can also purchase a PDF version of the pattern from tlhpatterns.com. These are the sizes 2 to 4 years, 4 to 6 years, 8 to 10 and 10 to 12 years. Use this as a guide to choose an appropriate size. If possible, measure the chest circumference of the child. For example, if the circumference is 22 inches, then it comes under the 2 to 4 year category, and so you'll choose the first size. I have given the actual chest circumference for each age group in centimeters and inches, followed by the width of the finished sweater and the height. I used medium worsted weight, which is category 4 yarn. The yarn I used is called Soft and Strong. It's category 4 medium worsted weight, and a ball of yarn is 100 grams and has 170 meters of yarn. I have provided the amount of yarn you will need for each size in the description box below. I used a J or 6 mm crochet hook for the body of the sweater and 4.5 mm for the ribbing. Before starting, check your gauge. Using the 6 mm crochet hook, make a square with more than 15 stitches, 15 to 16 stitches, and measure the number of stitches in 4 inches. You should get 13 double crochets in 4 inches and a little more than 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a little more than 7 rows in 4 inches. We'll start the front part now. Make a slip knot. Using the 6 mm crochet hook, make the required number of chains. For the first size, that is the 2 to 4 year size, you will need to make 42 chains. For the 4 to 6 year old size, make 46 chains. 8 to 10 years, make 48 chains, and 10 to 12 years, make 52 chains. When you have made the required number of chains, we'll start the first row. Skip the first 3 chains from the hook. So this is 1, 2 and 3, and work a double crochet in the next chain. In the 4th chain from the hook, you will work a double crochet. The skipped 3 chains will count as the first stitch of the row. So now you have 2 stitches. And then work double crochet in each stitch across until the end of the row. In the first row, you will have 40 stitches for the 2 to 4 year size, 44 for 4 to 6 year size, 46 for the 8 to 10 year size, and 50 stitches for the 10 to 12 year size. First row is complete, and the next row is also the same. You'll start with 3 chains, which will count as the first stitch, and then turn and work double crochet in rest of the stitches. This is the first stitch, so you will not work into this hole, and work into the next stitch. Make a double crochet in the next stitch and in each stitch across, and you will have the same number of stitches as your previous row. You will work the last stitch of this row in the turning 3 chains. I'm going to work the last stitch into the top of the 3 chains. The total number of stitches will be the same as your previous row. And now we'll start the third row. Make 3 chains which will count as the first stitch and turn. In this row we'll work crossed double crochet stitches. So you'll skip the next stitch and then into the next stitch, that is a third stitch, work a double crochet. And now into the skipped stitch you'll work a double crochet. This is the second stitch. Here make a double crochet. Now this will form a crossed double crochet stitch. You'll be repeating this stitch throughout the row. We have worked into these 2 stitches, the second and third stitch. Now skip the next stitch and work a double crochet in the next stitch, and then work a double crochet in the skipped stitch. Now skip the next stitch, skip this stitch and work a double crochet in the next stitch. Then work double crochet in the skipped stitch. Repeat this across. At the end of the row you'll have 1 stitch left. Work a double crochet in the last stitch. Next is row 4. Start with 3 chains which will count as the first stitch. Turn and work double crochet in rest of the stitches across. You'll have the same number of stitches as you had in the first and second rows. So this is the pattern that you will be repeating. Repeat rows 2, 3 and 4. That is 1 row of double crochet, 1 row of cross stitch and another row of double crochet. So these are the 3 rows that you will need to repeat. So you'll repeat rows 2, 3 and 4 5 more times for the first size, 6 more times for the second size, which is 4 to 6 year old, and 7 more times for the third size and 8 more times for the fourth size, that is the 10 to 12-year-old size. The size that I'm showing you here is the second size, that is the 4 to 6-year-old size. For the 4 to 6-year-old size, the total length up to this point is about 12 inches. Now we'll start shaping the neck. chain 3. This will count as the first stitch. Turn and work double crochet in the next 10 stitches for the first size and 12 stitches for rest of the sizes. Here I am doing the second size, so I'll work 12 double crochets or double crochet in the next 12 stitches. I have 13 stitches. For the first size alone you'll have 11 stitches, and for the rest of the sizes it's 13. Then work a double crochet decrease. Yarn over the hook, insert hook in the next stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Again yarn over the hook, insert hook in the next stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Now you'll have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. Then you'll work another double crochet decrease. The total number of stitches will be 11 plus 2, 13 for the first size, and 13 plus 2, 15 for the rest of the sizes. Then chain 2 and turn. And you'll work a double crochet in the next stitch. You'll skip this stitch. This is where you have worked 2 chains. And you'll work a double crochet in the next stitch. Now these two together will count as a double crochet decrease. So this chain 2 plus the double crochet will together count as 1 stitch. Then we'll work cross stitches. So skip the next stitch and work a double crochet in the next stitch, and then work a double crochet in the skipped stitch. You'll work totally 5 cross stitches in the first size and 6 in rest of the sizes. Then you'll work a double crochet in the last stitch. I'm working on the 4 to 6-year-old size, and so there are 6 cross stitches. And in the next row chain 3 and turn and work double crochet in rest of the stitches across. So 1 stitch is decreased, therefore you will have 12 stitches for the first size and 14 stitches for the rest of the sizes. The last stitch is worked over the double crochet decrease at the beginning, which is the double crochet and 2 chains. You will work one more row of double crochet in each stitch. So start with 3 chains and turn and work double crochet in rest of the stitches. So you'll have the same number of stitches as your previous row, which is 12 and 14, 14 and 14. For the first 2 sizes, that is 2 to 4 years and 4 to 6 years, you will cut the yarn off. But for the next 2 sizes, that is 8 to 10 years and 10 to 12 years, you will work one more row of double crochet and then cut the yarn off. Then we'll work the other side, join yarn at the first stitch and repeat the same instruction as you did for the other side. So in the first row you will work double crochet in 11 stitches for the first size and 13 stitches for the rest of the sizes, followed by 2 double crochet decreases. Then in the next row you will work cross stitches with 1 decrease at the beginning, and then work 2 rows of double crochet for the first 2 sizes and 3 rows of double crochet for the next 2 sizes. The front part of the sweater is over. The width across the chest for the 4 to 6-year-old size is about 13.5 inches and the height is about 14 inches without the ribbing. Now this is the first size, which is the 2 to 4-year-old size. In this size there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 rows of cross stitch before shaping the neck, and then in the neck part you will have 1 row of cross stitch followed by 2 rows of double crochet. In the second size that I am working on, there will be 7 rows of cross stitch before shaping the neck. This is the third size, which is the 8 to 10-year-old size, and there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of cross stitch before shaping the neck, and then 1 row of cross stitch in the neck part followed by 3 rows of double crochet. And in the 10 to 12-year-old size, you will have 9 rows of cross stitch before shaping the neck, and 1 row of cross stitch in the neck part followed by 3 rows of double crochet. Now we'll start working the back. It's the same as front up to the part where you start shaping the neck. Then you'll continue 2 rows for the first 2 sizes and 3 rows for the next 2 sizes in pattern, that is double crochet, 1 row of double crochet, cross stitch and 1 more row of double crochet. This is the second size, which is the 4 to 6-year-old size. So here up to the neck you will have 7 rows of cross stitch and finally 1 row of double crochet. And after that I continued with 2 rows in pattern, that is 1 row of double crochet followed by a row of cross stitch, and now we'll start shaping the neck. For the last 2 sizes you'll be working 3 rows in pattern followed by shaping neck. Start with 3 chain, then work double crochet in the next 10 stitches for the first size and 12 stitches for the rest of the sizes. Here I have worked double crochet in 12 stitches and then work a double crochet decrease. So totally you'll have 12 stitches for the first size and 14 stitches for rest of the sizes. Then in the second row work 3 chains and turn and work double crochet in rest of the stitches, and so you'll have the same number of stitches as your previous row, which is 12, 14, 14 and 14. Then cut the yarn off. Then join yarn at the other end and repeat the 2 rows. You'll start with 3 chains, which will count as the first stitch, and then work double crochet in the next 10 stitches for the first size and 12 stitches for rest of the sizes, followed by a double crochet decrease. So the total number of stitches will be 12, 14, 14, 14. That is 12 for the first size and 14 for the rest of the 3 sizes. And in the next row you will work double crochet in each stitch. The back part is also complete now. Next we'll make the sleeves. I've already made the chains. For the first size you'll make 28 chains, for the second size 30, for the next size 32, and for the last size you'll make 34 chains. And in the first row you'll skip 3 chains from the hook and work a double crochet in the 4th chain. So the skipped 3 chains will count as your first stitch. And then work double crochet in rest of the chains across. And by the end of this first row you will have 26 stitches for the first size, 28 stitches for the second size, 30 stitches for the third size, and 32 stitches for the last size. Now we'll start the second row. In the second row you will increase 1 stitch at the beginning and the end of the row. Start with 3 chains, turn and work a double crochet in the same stitch, that is the first stitch. So here you have increased 1 stitch at the beginning of the row. So this makes 2 stitches in the first stitch. And then work double crochet in each stitch. That is 1 double crochet in each stitch except the last one. And you will work 2 double crochets in the last stitch. So you have increased 2 stitches in this row, 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end. The total number of stitches in this row will be 28 for the first size, 30 for the second size, 32 for the third size, and 34 for the last size. So here at the end we have 1 stitch left. I am going to work 2 double crochets in this last stitch. Next we'll start the third row with 3 chains. This is a cross stitch row. Skip the next stitch and work a double crochet in the next stitch. And then work double crochet in the skipped stitch forming a cross, and repeat this across. Skip the next stitch, work double crochet in the next stitch, and then work double crochet in the skipped stitch. Repeat this across and work a double crochet in the last stitch. In the fourth row we'll work double crochet in each stitch across without any increase. Start with 3 chains. And work double crochet in each stitch across. So you'll have the same number of stitches as you had in the second row. You'll repeat rows 2, 3 and 4 3 more times for the first size, 4 more times for rest of the sizes. So row 2 will be a double crochet row with increase at the beginning and end, and row 3 will be the cross stitch row, and row 4 will be a double crochet row without any increase. This is size 2, which is the 4 to 6 year old size, and here I have repeated rows 2, 3 and 4 more times. So there are 5 rows of cross stitch, and the total number of stitches in the last row is 38. Then you'll repeat the 3 rows, 3 more times for the first size, 2 more times for second size, 3 more times for the third size, and 4 more times for the fourth size, but this time without any increase in the second row. So there will not be any increases made, and the total number of stitches will be the same as the previous set of repeats. This is the finished sleeve for the first and the last size, that is 2 to 4-year-old and 10 to 12-year-old. It's over, you can cut the yarn off. But for the other two sizes, that is 4 to 6-year-olds and 8 to 10-year-old, you'll have to repeat one more row of double crochet before finishing it off. Now we'll see how to join the parts together. First we'll be joining at the shoulders, and then we'll attach the sleeves. Place the front and the back parts together so that the wrong side is outside and the right side is facing each other inside, and begin sewing at the shoulders. I have joined at the shoulders on both the sides, and now we'll join the sleeves. Using a stitch marker, I have pinned the center part of the sleeve to the shoulder joint. Then you'll start sewing from one end of the upper part of sleeve to the other end. But before that, you have to make sure where you will begin and where you will end. Count the number of rows on each side to make sure that you have the same number of rows on both the sides. Then using a marker, pin the other end of the sleeve to the exact row where you have to finish on the body. Then you can start sewing from one end to the other. Remember that you are facing the wrong side. I have completed sewing on this side. Now fold the sleeve and we'll sew the side of the body now. Starting from the cuff of the sleeve, go up to the armhole and then come down the side of the body. Similarly, you'll join the other side also, and then we'll start working the ribbing. I've already worked the ribbing for both the sleeves, and now I'll show you how to do it at the bottom of the sweater. Use a smaller hook for ribbing. I am using the 4.5 mm crochet hook. Start from a corner at the bottom of your sweater. Insert hook in any stitch at a joint and pull yarn. Then work 7 chains. Now work single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in rest of the chains. So you'll have 6 single crochet stitches. Then work a slip stitch in the next stitch at the bottom of the sweater. another slip stitch in the next stitch, then turn and work single crochet only into the front loops of each stitch. So you will work single crochet in the front loops of 6 stitches. Then chain 1 and turn, and now work single crochet in the 6 stitches only into the back loops. Then you will work slip stitch in the next 2 stitches at the bottom of the sweater. Turn and work single crochet in 6 stitches only into the front loops. Chain 1 and turn and work single crochet only into the back loops of 6 stitches. Then work slip stitch in the next 2 stitches of the sweater. Repeat this around the entire bottom of the sweater. Once you have reached the beginning of the round, you can join both the ends together by sewing. So cut the yarn off, leaving a long tail, and then thread in the yarn needle and use it to sew both the ends on the wrong side. Follow the same instruction for both the sleeves, which I have already completed. Next, we'll do ribbing for the neck. For the neck alone, we'll be working a round of single crochet around the circumference of the neck opening and then do the ribbing. The number of stitches is not important, just work single crochet around. While working single crochet at the front and back, work one stitch in each stitch, whereas while working at the sides, you will work single crochets at an even distance from each other. After completing the round, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch, and then we'll start working the ribbing as we did for the sleeves and the bottom of the sweater. Make 7 chains and then work single crochet in the second chain from the hook and then the next 5 chains, so 6 single crochets in total. Slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. Then work single crochet in the front loops of the next 6 stitches, chain 1 and turn, and work single crochet in the back loops of 6 stitches, followed by slip stitch in 2 stitches. Repeat this around the neck and then join the ends together. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. There is a return pattern available at thelazyhobbyhopper.blogspot.com. You can also purchase a PDF version of the pattern from my Etsy store as well as tlhpatterns.com.